Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well and having a great day. Welcome back to the podcast. Today we're going to be talking about something that every horse rider sees every single day, but sometimes doesn't fully understand, and that is horse body language. As riders, we spend so much time learning how to ride correctly, how to improve our position, and how to care for our horses. But one of the most important skills that we can develop is understanding what our horse is actually trying to tell us. Unlike humans, horses cannot speak without words. They can't tell us if that they are nervous, excited, relaxed, uncomfortable, or happy. Instead, they communicate through their body language. Every flick of an ear, swish of a tail, movement of the eyes, and change in posture can tell us something. Today, we're going to discover how horses communicate, what different signals mean, how to recognize signs of stress and relaxation, and why understanding horse body language can completely change your relationship with your horse. So let's get started. Before we talk specifically about horses, let's quickly think about humans. Imagine you walk into a room and see someone sitting with their arms crossed, avoiding eye contact and looking down at the floor. Without them saying a single word, you might already think they are upset, nervous, or uncomfortable. Now imagine someone smiling, standing confidently, and making eye contact. Again, without words, you already understand someone about how they are feeling. Humans communicate with body language all the time, while horses do the exact same thing. The difference is that horses rely on body language even more than humans do. For horses, body language is their main language. They use it to communicate with other horses and with us. In a herd, horses are constantly watching each other. They can understand what another horse is simply feeling by looking at their ears, eyes, body position, and movement. This is one reason why horses are so good at noticing small changes in their environment. They are prey animals, so paying attention to body language has helped them survive for 1,000 of years. Now let's start with one of the easiest parts of horses' body language to understand. The ears. Many people say that a horse's ears are like emotional antennas. A horse can move each ear independently, which means they can listen to different things at the same time. When both ears are forward, the horse is usually interested in something. Maybe they see another horse, hear a strange noise, or notice something new in their surroundings. Forward ears often show curiosity and attention. When one ear is pointed to you and the other ear is pointed to somewhere else, your horse is probably paying attention to multiple things at once. They might be listening to you but also keeping an eye on what's happening around them. If the ears are relaxed and moving softly, the horse is usually calm and comfortable. When the ears are pinned flat against the neck, that is a completely different message. Pinned ears often mean that the horse is angry, annoyed, uncomfortable, or warning for something to stay away. This is a signal riders should always pay attention to. The horse is communicating something important. Sometimes it might be a warning to another horse. Sometimes it can mean pain or discomfort. Either way, it is telling us something we should not ignore. Now let's talk about the eyes. People often say that the eyes are the window to the soul. That might sound dramatic, but horses' eyes can actually tell us a lot. A relaxed horse usually has soft eyes. Their eyelids look relaxed and their expression appears calm. When a horse is nervous or scared, their eyes often become much wider. Sometimes you can see more of the white part of their eye. This doesn't mean panic, but it can be a sign that the horse is feeling worried or uncertain. You may have heard people use the phrase showing the white of their eyes. This often happens when a horse is startled or stressed. Again, context is important. One signal alone doesn't tell the whole story. You should always look at the entire horse. The ears, eyes, head, tail, and body all work together. Next, let's talk about the nose and the mouth. A relaxed horse will often have a soft muzzle. Their lips may look loose and relaxed. Sometimes after a good ride or while resting, you may even see the lower lip drooping slightly. This is usually a sign that the horse feels comfortable. Sometimes some horses lick and chew when they are processing information or are relaxing after a stressful moment. Many trainers see this as a sign that the horse is thinking and settling down. On the other hand, tight lips and tense muzzle can suggest stress, discomfort, or uncertainty. Now let's move on to the one of most noticeable body language signals, the tail. Many riders immediately think a swishing tail means irritation. Sometimes that is true. A horse may swish its tail when annoyed or by flies or when frustrated, but context matters again. If there are no flies around and the horse is repeatedly swishing its tail during work, it may be communicating discomfort, tension, confusion, or frustration. A relaxed tail usually hangs naturally behind the horse. When a horse carries its tail high, it can show excitement, energy, confidence, or alertness. Certain breeds are naturally known for carrying their tails higher than the others. A clamped tail, where the tail is held tightly against the body, can sometimes indicate fear, anxiety, or discomfort. The tail is basically another way a horse communicates its emotions. Now let's talk about a horse's overall posture. This is sometimes something many riders overlook. Imagine a horse standing with one hind leg resting, their head lowered slightly, and their body looking soft and relaxed. That is a horse probably feeling comfortable and safe. Many horses rest on one hind leg when they are relaxed. It's almost like us sitting comfortably in a chair. Now imagine a horse standing with their head high, neck tense, muscle tight, and the attention fixed on something in the distance. That horse is likely alert and watching for potential danger. Remember, horses are prey animals. Their survival depends on spotting danger quickly. Even though our horses live in safe stables and paddocks today, those natural instincts are still there. Let's talk about signs of stress, because this is something every rider should know. Stress doesn't always look dramatic. A horse doesn't have to be rearing or running around to be stressed. Sometimes the signs are much more smaller. For example, pinned ears, wide eyes, a tense body, a tight clamped tail, rapid movement, difficulty focusing, constant fidgeting, head tossing, excessive sweating in certain areas. These can all be signs that a horse is feeling uncomfortable or worried. Understanding these signs helps us respond appropriately. Instead of assuming a horse is being naughty, we can ask ourselves a different question. What is my horse trying to tell me? Sometimes the answer may be fear, sometimes confusion, sometimes discomfort, sometimes pain. Learning to recognize these signals can make us better riders and better horse owners. Now let's look at the opposite side. What does a relaxed horse look like? A relaxed horse often has soft eyes, relaxed ears, a loose muzzle, a resting hind leg, a calm posture, slow movement, and a lowered head and neck. These are all signs that the horse feels safe and comfortable in its environment. One of my favorite things about horses' body language is how honest horses are. Humans can hide their feelings. We can pretend to be okay when we are upset. We can smile when we don't feel happy. Horses are different. They are usually very honest communicators. If we learn their language, they tell us a lot. And that brings me to my own opinion about horses' body language. In my opinion, horses mostly communicate through their physical body and gestures. It's how they are naturally designed to communicate. Because they can't talk or verbally communicate with humans, they do their best to express themselves through their body language. That's why it's so important for us to understand what our horse is trying to say. Sometimes I think of it like this. Imagine one person speaks Japanese and the other person speaks Hungarian. At first, it might seem impossible for them to communicate because they don't share a common language. However, they eventually find other ways to understand each other. They might use gestures, facial expressions, translation tools, or other forms of non-verbal communication. In the end, communication is still possible. I think the relationship between horses and humans can be very similar. Well, we don't speak the same language, but if we take time to learn and listen, we can still understand each other. And honestly, I think that's one of the most amazing parts of working with horses. The more time you spend around them, the more you start to notice things. You notice when they're excited before feeding time. You notice when they are relaxed in the field. You notice when they are nervous about something new. You start understanding their language. And when that happens, your partnership becomes stronger. Before we finish today's episode, I want you to leave with a small little challenge. The next time you visit your horse or even watch your horses in the field, spend a few minutes just observing. Don't focus on riding, don't focus on training, just watch. Look at their ears, watch their tail, notice their eyes, look at their posture, and ask yourself, what might they be communicating? You might be surprised by how much information they are giving you without making a single sound. Thank you all for so much for listening to today's episode. I hope you enjoyed learning more about horses' body language and what horses might be trying to tell us every day. Remember, understanding horses isn't just about riding them. It's about listening to them, respecting them, and learning their language. I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye!